Hi, if you'd like to come on in and have a seat for some symbolic support, we are here in the name of Andrea or Andrea. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, but thank you so much for being here. And this is made public, so if you're not an Andrea, but you're still open to receive or release freely as we are interconnected.
Ethan.
All right. Andrea, thank you so much for being here. We're going to go through Shaman's Palm, and I have some more like a spooky Shaman's Palm, some different cards that have stepped forward with you. So if you're open to receive that, and as well, we have the Ghost Tube here kicking for any audio additions that may inspire or irritate. Receive or release freely, of course. And if you'd like to open up with me, you're more than welcome to, or fast forward through. Taking a nice deep breath, cleansing the palette of perception, releasing the race and the rush, activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support. In the name and honor of Andrea. Thank you so much for being my muse, for holding space for me to share my insights and allowing me to be a guest in your aura. Let's go. I do want to know, before I was doing your Inkblot, I was hearing the song by, I believe it's REM, Everybody Hurts. Everybody hurts sometimes. That song. Hold on.
Behind you.
Hold on. Whatever. I'm a horrible singer, but you know what I'm saying. So that was, that came through. All right. So digging right in here, something about my left ear is bothering me suddenly as well. I don't know if they're dogs. I feel like they've passed on.
Suffocate.
Or a dog. I could also see parrots, like with really, really loud mouths. I feel like I have been either talking, yelling. My mouth is wide open. I don't know what is in there, but these parrots, and they also kind of look like birds, like thunderbirds and feathers. Thunderbirds and feathers. I feel like there's some sort of sense of self I want to get to that feels, or I would like to feel safe in my structure of spirit. I'm going to say it that way because that's how it's coming in. I feel like an anvil's been dropped on me, and I'm also seeing a bird looking down at something. Like I'm a bird on a branch, but I'm at the back, like closer to the tree trunk, and I'm looking down. I don't know about something. That's how I'm feeling. Almost like a woodpecker, but it's actually, but it's just kind of like chilling. It's not pecking. It's not doing what it's supposed to. And it's looking down at this, what I'm going to call it like a dinosaur or something. And its mouth is open. And I don't know if it's waiting for me to jump or fly. Or maybe this is a snake of some sort. Like a big serpent. Idiot's been coming out a lot today, so don't take it personally. But if it resonates, that's cool. But it's probably for me. That's fine. I don't know how to remove that word from it because it's just irritating, but that's okay. Irritations and inspirations alike. But because I feel, and maybe this is how you feel, right? Like I'm looking down at this big serpent, waiting for me to make a mistake, or I've made a mistake and they're just waiting to gobble me up, and I feel like an idiot, or I think they're an idiot. You know what I mean? Something along that lines. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to lie. It feels like I'm just kind of like, that's what makes me feel like, yeah. It doesn't make me feel good. I'm also seeing a cane, possibly a candy cane, but I'm seeing a cane. Like something is just rickety, and I'm seeing somebody's glasses, but there's no arms on their glasses, and not cool style, Matrix style. This feels like, I don't know if it's you, Andrea, of course, I never really know, or if it's an external energy around you, or if it's the way I'm seeing something or seeing myself. Okay, I'm suddenly feeling very, very hard on myself. Okay, because I just put my glasses on, and that's why I don't see the arms. It's because I just did this. Like I'm just like adjusting from like right here. And I'm trying to like see something. Yeah, I'm trying to see something and like just slightly adjust my glasses of sight. I also see myself sitting in a meditative, a traditional meditative pose, or wide, like diamond pose or goddess pose for some, depending on what yogic circles you wander in. It's like, imagine if you're sitting, like this is your head, this is your body, and these are your knees out to the side and your feet are touching. I suddenly feel like I'm a character in a book, in a children's book. I also feel like there's this, it feels like a male energy. They feel cranky. I don't know how else to say that. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's like, the old soul within, and you're just like, oh, I'm just cranky. And the H word came through. Not my preferred word of use, but that's no judgment to anyone else. If there's something that you're not enjoying. But it's like when I look at these as dogs, they have like no eyes. I don't know what that means. And it's like when people are or animals, not people, and it's like, you say what? You say what? Like, that's what it feels like. That's not an attractive way of doing it, but it is what it is. Okay, so coming into your cave of ice, I have the Shaman of Courage. I'm going to flip that while I'm down here as well. I have remember, okay, sorry. I will get there in a second. I just saw it as those books, at least when I was a kid, it was like Mr. Doodle or something. And they were like basic shapes, but they were like Miss Happy or something like that. And I'm seeing one of those. Okay, children's books. Shaman of Courage in my cave of ice. In my cave of winds, in my thoughts, I have Hunter of Dreams. In my cave of hearth fires, in my fire of my heart of hearts, I have Dancer of Reconciliation. In my cave of feeling, in my cave of rivers, is the Spirit of Challenge. And in the cave of earth, I have Hunter of Paths. And I feel like this says a whole lot. Of course, you know me, and anyone else, please see, sense, and feel for your own insights, but I appreciate the space being held for my yammerings and my stories, my point of view. But everyone's point of view is powerful. And I need to have the courage. It's like my shadow self, or this little devilish demon. I can't even call it little, to be honest with you. As it's like growing taller and taller and taller, where it's almost going to like break out of this cave I have it in. And maybe it's an obstacle. Maybe it's something I've been ignoring. I don't really know what it is, but it's like it's growing bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's going to burst. But it's actually like reaching out towards the light. It's like I'm trying to grow towards the light, or at least that's what it makes me feel. And when I hit the light, it's like that's when my shadow and my shine come together and say, we are walking towards dreams, because this is what, when I'm in the cave of winds, and it's like the whispers of, remember what you wanted. Remember the dreams from when you were a kid. Remember. I don't know. There's just something about that. It's a lot of Sagittarius vibes about it as well. And it's like I need to, I don't know if I feel like I've been a warrior for too long. But I need to remember I'm actually not, this may not be the place to be a warrior. But I might be, it's like the virgin warrior. I don't want to fight. I want to be peaceful. But I need to reconcile my shadow and my shine, even if those are expressed in other people around me. I need this is how it's making me feel anyway. I need this to be released. Maybe it's through your parents, maybe it's through guardians or a couple, and there might be a child involved, or you are the child. Maybe this is your inner child. But see how they're like dark and light at the same time. And the challenge of how I'm feeling feels very much so like these two express differently. It's almost like on one hand, my shadow, and this feels like my demon, or vice versa, is like, why? We're just doing what we always do. We're just being the way we always be. But this one has wisdom, very ancient wisdom. And it kind of makes me feel like if there's like a magic, if there's magic in the air. And when I say that magic, if I feel like I want to say mystic, or like witchy vibes, or shamanic, again, something, that feathers coming back in, because it feels like an owl feather that has lost all of its feathers. But did I lose all my feathers? No. It's like when the eagle goes up to the highest point to go and be reborn, for its feathers to grow again. And I feel like the challenge for me is to admit how I feel. And then I can pursue, like once I clear that out, I can pursue the path, elevating up. And again, I don't know if there's a child somewhere in the story, or it's the inner child, or a version of me from the past that gets clarified. We're here for Andrea. Through my like stepping up to the plate, being wiser.
Danger.
For whatever reason, so when I can perceive and have the courage to meet the demons that are playing dumb. I don't know if that's a thing, but I feel like it could be a thing. I don't know if anyone's playing dumb around you. Okay, I'm going to continue on here, sorry, and I'm going to scry from this angle, and as well I'm going to add on a few Crow Oracle cards, moving around once again your Shaman's Palm. So thank you so much for being here, for being my muse, like, sharing, and subscribing, and for all those who do support. You warm my haunted heart. All right, continuing on for Andrea. I'm reaching up. It's like, I don't know if there is something from your, again, childhood or something along that lines, but it's like, I'm trying to, when a kid or someone like up, I want up. And there are beings, I'll bring this down for you. This is the up, like the hands up. Something about ice skating as well. Might have been something I was really good at when I was a kid, or a skill set I'd like to learn. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care that I'm, 33, or it doesn't matter that I'm 65, or it doesn't matter. Like, everyone's a novice. Everyone's a child. Like, stepping into something with a childlike curiosity to become better at it, whatever that is, or even communication. Somebody might be, again, like the whole weird dumb thing, because I feel like I'm hearing Red from that show, that 70s show. The dumbass. And it's like, okay, but at some point in time, maturity, growing. But if I'm learning a new language about something, stepping back to a certain route or a different, maybe I'm really proficient as an accountant, but I also want to learn about astrology. And yeah, I might be proficient at this, but I'm curious. I want to step in. I want to learn this. And you might feel a little weird not knowing the words, but that's why you're there to learn. And it's like, I need to reconcile that. But yeah, because it is an illusion. The squawking. I don't know also if there's like a fight or something, again, with up here, because they could, when I saw them as parrots, and the squawking, but see how in here with the illusion card, you might be 24 years old, 24 months, or in 2 years. And it's like we're just yelling at versions of ourselves, or I'm being very hard on myself. No, I wanted to flip it. Sorry, here are the beings, again, down here. There's dragons' tails, not dragons, just the tails. It might actually, it's not even a dragon's tail. It might be a dinosaur. I'm afraid it's going to come around and whip me. On the bottom, we have self-interest. Taking care of your self-interest, being curious about yourself, listening to your self-interest. Self-interest also looking at that illusion. And I also feel like there's something I need to feel in that cave of feeling, like just accepting the way I feel and allowing the chips to fall where they may, but knowing that it's actually how I feel. Back in the cave of ice with the shaman of courage is the release. The freedom that is felt, but there's grief. That's not to dismiss grief. Maybe somebody has recently passed. You've lost a job. I don't know what it is, or there's a relationship on the rocks or a friendship on the rocks. I'm seeing those rocks as poppies, and they're around, and I remember and I honor, but I'm going to soar. Just as I release, these guys rise up, And now I start to soar. And I start to soar towards my dream. And something about the wintertime as well. Might be, again, 24 months, 24 days, 24 hours even. And when I come into the cave of hearth fires with the illusion, I feel like we talked about that, of reconciling what, kind of like what I'm lying to myself about. And I'm not saying that in a nasty way, just in general. And I'm not lying to lie. I'm actually trying to see the better. I'm trying to be hopeful. But if I'm being honest, I kind of feel like I'm stuck in a loop of hope. Hope doesn't seem to go anywhere. I'm always in a state of hope. I'm hoping. Hope is a wonderful feeling, but also hope can feel like a prison. So I take the challenge of how I'm feeling. I'm like, I'm going to accept the challenge and say how I feel. And knowing then I start to be fed. You know what? There's all these things, and I know they're fish, but I'm seeing them as feathers. And all these feathers are falling from that owl that I was speaking of before. Did I lose all my feathers? No. They start falling from the sky. Love is blooming. And yes, they might be a little wet with some tears, but they will dry as I put them back on. And as I walk the path of my cave of earth, and I think, wow, here is my hunter of paths, and now I got to pave my own way. I got to begin anew.
What do you want?
Asking yourself what it is that you want and pursuing that. And it's interesting because it's like over here with the grief of something and having the courage to go through that with gratitude. And I soar over, taking a look at all these things. And then I inevitably come back to soaring over the very graveyard of where not only my things that I've left and lost and loved were, but where others are too. And the shadows of them are casted by us moving through light. I'm also seeing something about the Mandalorian. I don't know if you watched that show, and I can't remember the little Buddha's name, but somehow he ends up with him and then becomes very attached. And I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that connection. I'll take one more for the aura of choice. Wandering into your spooky aura here. So I have familiar, bond with your spirit animal, which may be a crow, if I'm being honest with you, or a dinosaur. Blush, love is blooming. But even this love, like there are, I'm seeing this like rose petal spikes coming off the spine. And I'm just, it's like releasing the 10 of swords or the 10 of, it's 10 of wands even, the burdens. And I'm kind of blushing with, I'm seeing the blush as after I've finished crying and I'm red. I see it much nicer on you than I do on me. Maybe it's anger too, kind of red with anger, passion. It's like suddenly my wisdom's kicking in. Like I am actually angry. This is not a passionate way I want to communicate. This isn't, or whatever it is. I'm angry. And now I know when I'm passionate or when I'm feeling smitten with something and I've cried and now my cheeks are red and rosy. Or like I said, sorry, because I jumped over there, or I'm smitten with something and I can blush again because blushing makes me feel like I'm a little bit alive. Like I have life in me. I still have life in me. And I feel like I have a choice to make. And it's like a wishbone of a branch. And I'm afraid of making the wrong one. But the spirit of challenge, again, in that cave of rivers of feeling, I got to be really honest with that. I got to be super honest. Your aura, as I'm adding on here with your aura, it's service, Mormokaya, and regeneration Hydra. That's even like the feeling of like this dinosaur, not like Loch Ness monster stuff, but feels, again, warrior, but it's like a water warrior. I'm willing to ride my waves because I've been drowning in worries. So I might as well start surfing towards what I want. Something absolutely about your familiars and spirit animals. There's a vulture on this child as well. Again, vultures will consume what has been left for dead, and they will put it to use and be the transmuter. You don't have to do that. It will be done for you. But to receive that wisdom from that like inner child space, I'm seeing this as adolescence. I'm seeing this as young adulthood. It's like childhood, adolescence, adulthood. Mother, maiden, crone, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, three sisters, this, that, and the other. Apply anything that feels good. But I'm seeing it as child, adolescence, and adulthood. And I have a choice of how I'm going to move forward as I'm transforming to be of service to myself. Did self-interest not come up here somewhere? Oh, yeah, it's over there. It's like I'm going to be of service of self-interest, and not because I'm being selfish. And maybe somebody has kept telling me that you're being selfish, you're being selfish. But I don't feel like I've actually followed it through. I don't think I've gone the distance. And I don't want the challenge to say, well, how, this is just how I'm feeling. It's like, well, how, whatever. And it's like, I don't want somebody to cause me to puff up again and have to prove myself.
Sacrifice.
Oh, I don't want to prove myself. That's how I feel. Okay, closing out auric messages for Andrea, if I didn't say so already. Thank you. I think I did. Yes, I did. Okay. Okay. Easy, easy, easy. Thank you. I have here gold cup of replenishment. You have replenishment a few times. Maybe that's just my imagination, but it's like the golden cup. And sorry, that's what I was seeing down here before I didn't get finished. I feel like there's this cup being made for you. And I feel like this isn't an infinity symbol yet. Once I pick up this inner child within myself, or a child, I don't know, then it'll smooth out into the infinity symbol. Beacon, shine on, blush, love is blooming. It's like shining and blushing at the same time. What are your dreams? What steps can you take towards it? How are you serving that dream? Because I do feel like there's been some sacrifice, which is honorable, but I also feel like there's been suffering, and I'm not sure why. I'm not trying to be discompassionate about that. I'm legitimately, I don't know why. Maybe you're just ultimately stressed. Ancestors, appreciation, and healing. With the dancer of reconciliation, illusions, and choice, there could have been something either that's in the family dynamic of your bloodline, the fire, there's a lot of firework going on there. A lot of the feminine energy, but maybe it is reconciling with parents, reconciling with, being in a marriage or in a relationship, and even reconciling might be like, this is not working. Or this is working great, and we need to make a little room for me to shine out. Shine on me. Shine on me. I do weird things. I apologize. The cosmos mirrors you. I feel like, again, we've had this. Where was the mirror one? In the illusion. But it's here. The cosmos is literally mirroring you and how you are being of service to yourself, to your soul, to your spirit, mother, maiden, crone, child, adolescent, adult. How are you? Are you mirroring your child if it's issues with the child, or the inner child, whatever the case may be? They're mirroring you to some degree or another, but they've also taken that mirror and they're adjusting it to their own ways. So if it's like, what is this? They are mirroring you, but now they're making it their own and they're tweaking
it's outside.
it. But you do have luck there, and I also hear it's like when someone's like child becomes a teenager, and it's like, good luck with that. That's kind of how it feels. But I feel like there's something might be around me that's in that adolescent stage, even though it could be very well adult or elderly to very youthful. If they're like really young, but they're acting like a teenager, or they're really old and they're acting like a teenager, or they communicate that way, or they just communicate immaturely, something along that lines. And then last but not least here, in your cave of earth, your hunter of paths, soaring over the ghosts, regenerating emotional vitality. Letting go, time for release. I feel like in the September month, something started. The fall season. And letting things fall. But speaking in a truth, quite calmly. As soon as I feel like I want to like bring that passion up, that fire. And I'm not to say, it's like we can't react, or rather respond. It's love is coming through. It's more like, as soon as I feel that somebody, or within myself, I'm saying things, I'm doing things that are getting me like, I'm like, oh, I see what you're doing, trying to control me. It's like being somebody's guard dog. I don't know. It's like I'm in a position that I didn't want to be in, or I didn't realize had happened over time. Okay. Last starseed messages here.
Real.
Love, Andrea. Live your truth and share the love that is in your soul. Channel. You are a channel through which healing energy reaches the world. And these two over here, unseen. Observation. Expand your consciousness by observing the divine matrix of life. And Gaia. Connect to the pulse of Mother Earth. She will guide you through this time of change. And there is something like with a lot of nature, a lot of animals that have come through, all that kind of good stuff. Maybe taking time to sit in nature, be in nature. You might even have like old shaman in you, or like I said, witchcraft or paganism. Apply whatever feels good culturally speaking, and kind of coming back to that, sitting on the earth, listening to the pulse of that. And if you are a mother, and you have a physical incarnation mother, but going to the big mama, going to the big mama earth and sitting there and feeling the ultimate love of everything around you, observing the support. Andrea, thank you so much. I blubbered on way too long. Until next time, thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.